What is happening, guys? It's your boy TC back with another video. So in today's video, we're going to be discussing the top 5 targets. These are potential managers that could certainly replace Arsene Wenger. We do know that he is definitely dominating the media at the moment in terms of what's actually taking place with the club, the bad results and his own stubbornness. So reports are actually surfacing today as well, suggesting that he will be staying on beyond the summer, and apparently he's told his coaches that he will be staying. So hopefully it won't turn out to be this situation where he ends up staying, because the animosity between himself and the fans is unbearable. Really, everyone has particularly turned on him. Former players like the likes of Lee Dixon actually came out last night at the AGM that took place, and apparently he did speak in a positive as well as a negative manner towards Arsene Wenger. So it looks like a lot of people are certainly turning on him, including former players themselves. So as I said, this video is to actually discuss the top 5 potential targets that could potentially replace Arsene Wenger. So the list consists of Ancelotti, Thierry Henry, Luis Enrique, as well as Brendan Rodgers and Diego Simeone. So let's start off with Carlo Ancelotti, a very well-renowned manager across the world. He's won things. He's 58 years of age, and his last job was at Bayern Munich. As we all know, he stayed there for a year, won the Bundesliga, and he won the actual equivalent of the FA Cup during his time there. However, in the past, he has won. He came to Chelsea, did the double, if you do all remember. In Real Madrid, he won the Champions League. He was there for 2 years. He won the World Club World Cup. He also lifted the Copa del Rey, and he's got a number of trophies on his back. He's also won the Champions League with Milan as well during his managerial career. And if you all remember, he came to Chelsea and he did the double. So is he a suitable candidate to obviously take over at Arsenal if we do end up requiring a new manager? So he's got 1,000 plus games in top leagues across Europe. He's won the Champions League 3 times, so that alone says a lot. He's won it with Milan twice, and he's obviously lifted the cup with Real Madrid as well in recent years. Question will be for all these managers on this list will be, would they be the right man to obviously come in and actually take the job over from Arsene Wenger? In my opinion, if we're going to go for someone who is available, he's recently turned down an offer to actually manage Italy, and he said he's awaiting a return to the Premier League, so he is sort of sensing that a job may certainly come up sometime soon, hoping it will be the Arsenal job. And essentially, I believe he will be the right man to come in and stabilise the ship, at least for 2 seasons, before we actually find a long-term successor in the place of Arsene Wenger. But he will come in, he will command the respect from the players. Based on his previous achievements alone, he has managed in the Premier League as well and won the title during his time in the Premier League, so I do believe he will certainly be the right man to take us forward. So let's move on, and the next player on the list will certainly be Thierry Henry. As we all know, Thierry Henry is famous at the moment for being a pundit on Sky Sports and voicing his concerns and his actual opinions on the Arsenal as a football club, as well as trying to do his job on Sky Sports. But he is also currently the assistant manager for Belgium, and he's been working under Roberto Martinez, and they've done a great job between him and Roberto Martinez. They've got Belgium to the World Cup. They've got an array of talent available to them in the likes of Lukaku, Hazard, the Hazard brothers. Really, Token Hazard has been having a few good games here and there. They've still got the likes of Benteke, and they've got a very, very solid midfield at the back. They've got the Toby Alderweireld as well. So they've got a good core within their team. And as mentioned, they have done absolutely well with the Belgian team. How they're going to be judged moving forward will certainly how they perform at the World Cup at the big stage. They've been showing a lot of potential in recent years in terms of Belgium as a whole team, as a national team. It's time for their big players, in my opinion, to step up and see what they can do and perform well on the big stage. So as mentioned, Henry is currently the assistant manager for Belgium and working under Roberto Martinez at the moment. When he comes in, will he actually command or deserve the respect from the players? No, that's my short answer to that particular question, based on the fact that he hasn't managed at a high level at the moment. Of course, he will command the respect that he did get and gain whilst he was a player for Arsenal, being the top scorer, one of the best players we've ever had at the club, if not the best. So he will certainly get respect in that regards, but as an authoritative figure, I doubt the players will take him on. He's 40 years of age, and I don't believe he will be able to actually stamp his authority on the squad. Yes, he may come in and motivate everyone, knowing what's expected from the club as well, but I don't believe that he will be that authoritative figure. Yes, do we need to take a gamble? At times you may certainly need to take a gamble. A lot of people are mentioning the fact that Barcelona took a gamble when they actually put Pep Guardiola in place, but this is not the La Liga. This is a completely different league. This is the Premier League, and I do believe if he does come in on a permanent basis, not an interim basis, he may find himself struggling with the job. It's a huge job to fill, and the last thing that I personally would want is for him to actually taint his legacy by taking over as manager at the club. So what do you guys think? Do let me know what you think about what I've just said in regards to Thierry Henry taking over from Arsene Wenger. Moving on, the next manager on the list will be Luis Enrique. So Luis Enrique, as we all know, has been managing, or was the manager of Barcelona, my apologies, and the last season. Done absolutely amazing during his time there. I think he started managing at Barcelona in 2014. In his debut season, won the Champions League. Of course, he had a lot of good players to his disposal, namely Messi and Neymar at the time. So he had a very good squad in terms of actually going out and challenging for titles. But spent 3 seasons at Barcelona, won a lot of stuff. He won the league twice out of those 3 seasons, and he picked up the Copa del Rey 3 times as well. So each season he was picking up the Copa del Rey. That's a good achievement for someone who spent 3 seasons at a club. Of course, he was competing with the likes of Real Madrid, and he was competing with the likes of Atletico Madrid during that particular time. But he certainly managed to win some titles. In terms of him being sacked by Barcelona, they didn't see that there was a way forward with him, so they obviously put someone else in place. And ideally, would he suit Arsenal's style of play? Yes, he will. My main concern really would be with his appointment, if he was to get appointed, would be the cultural side of things. Of course, he's used to managing in Spain. Not to say that he can't come to the Premier League and manage, but certain things, it may take him a season, like we saw with Pep Guardiola, to settle down and get the ship sturdy and moving forward as a team. So I do believe the cultural side of things may certainly be a concern. However, his managerial abilities, don't doubt them at all. Of course, he will have a team that's built by Wenger, and he may certainly need to dismantle the team and put it back together by bringing in new players off his own. So if he was to come in, yes, I will certainly take him as a manager on a permanent basis. Will he perform? I don't know. So moving forward, in the next manager on this list will be Brendan Rodgers. So you will remember Brendan Rodgers from his time at Liverpool. And some may say that during this time at Liverpool, it was a successful period or not a successful period, depending on how you look at it. But Liverpool hadn't been in the Champions League for years, and he certainly brought them back into the Champions League. You saw him actually introduce the likes of Raheem Sterling into the squad. He was also managing Luis Suarez and Daniel Sturridge at the time, and those 2 or 3 players that I've mentioned had blinding seasons under the leadership of Brendan Rodgers. But in my opinion, in terms of what he had at his disposal, I do believe it was a failure, purely because he should have won the league whilst he had Suarez in the squad. Daniel Sturridge was absolutely phenomenal at the time. They scored a bag of goals. They also had Sterling on their books, who was contributing to the team at the time, and certainly would have been able to develop him into the player that he is now if they were successful at the time. I don't believe that Sterling would have had a reason to leave Liverpool if he had actually gone out and won the league with them. So to me, that would have been a failure in terms of his time at Liverpool. Would he be the right man to come over and take over at Arsenal? No, purely because he's failed to do it at Liverpool, in my opinion, in the Premier League. Done fantastically well at Swansea, which obviously led him to the job at Liverpool. but I don't believe that he was successful as a Premier League manager. He was finding himself under pressure a lot of times during his spell at Liverpool. So moving forward, I don't believe he will be the right man to take us forward. He's done amazingly well in Scotland at the moment. Of course, there's no competition up there. Celtic have been running the roost for a very, very long time. They win titles year in, year out, always in the Champions League due to the fact that they're winning the title each year. So it seems fairly easy. Of course, they had that unbeaten run recently as well that came to an end, but he's done amazing over there. It's fairly easy in my opinion. I'm not a manager at all, I know that, but it's fairly easy for a manager to go to Scotland and actually have an absolutely blinding time as long as he's managing either Celtic or Rangers. So moving on, and the final person on the list will be Diego Simeone, and I don't see Diego Simeone coming to the Premier League in my opinion, just from the get-go. That's the honest truth. He's got a fantastic project going on in Spain with Atletico Madrid. He's got a very, very good squad, and in terms of them challenging for the title, they're always up there each year. They have won it as well in recent years. As mentioned, they've been to Champions League finals. Of course, they haven't won those finals, but he's built a very, very good squad, and I do believe that he would want to see this project out. They've also recently relocated to a new stadium, and it seems as if everything is going swimmingly well for him. However, across the road, someone like Zidane is finding himself extremely under pressure. Of course, they're absolutely doing terrible in the league this season, according to their standards anyway. So I don't believe Diego Simeone will leave La Liga to come to the Premier League in a high pressure environment. It's week in, week out, you're being scrutinised in and out. I'm guessing it's the same over in Spain, but over in the Premier League it's a bit more intense. So what do you guys think of the list? Do let me know in the comments below in regards to who you'd want to see as the manager, or who makes the best potential to be our manager if Arsene Wenger was to leave the club. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. So once again guys, it's your boy TC from I'm Gonna Talk TV, and I'm out.